Welcome to the next episode of Just Peachie. My name is Peachie Thompson, and I'm your host. Just Peachie is a show where we interview leaders and subject matter experts in the fields of insurance, finances, and taxes. We also have a lifestyle section where we talk about everything and anything under the sun. I'm so excited to introduce you to our next speaker, financial planning and exit coaching expert, Miss Brooklyn Brock. Welcome, Brooklyn. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Peachy. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. So, Brooklyn, I am so excited to introduce you to our listeners. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your firm, Ellevate Advisors, and yourself, please?
Of course. So I launched Ellevate Advisors about 18 months ago through XYPN. So I'm an XYPN member firm, which means that I'm also an independent fee-only advisor. I am also married. We have a little puppy. I mean, he's like a forever puppy because he's full grown. He's 3 years old, but he's only 8 pounds, and he travels with me everywhere to conferences and everything. He came with us to the XYPN conference last week.
Oh, so. Did he? Oh, lucky little one.
That's a little bit about us.
So financial planning and exit strategy for advisors, it's a very highly specialized niche. What made you interested in doing this?
Yeah. So it is highly specialized, as in I think I'm the only one in the world doing this right now. Like sometimes an advisor might specialize in serving doctors or something, and there are a handful of firms out there that do that. I'm the only one helping advisors themselves because I feel like advisors deserve to retire too, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What a great idea. Right now, if you're an advisor and you're listening, really, I think on top of everybody's mind is what happens if something happens to me, right? And there's the how do I get out of my business eventually as I age. So anyway, I think those are the questions that they have in mind. So I know that you have you were born into the financial advisory industry, if I'm correct, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a third generation CFP. So I kind of grew up in my family's firm. My granddad started it in the 80s. And he decided to do his own financial plan when he started. And he said he wanted to save enough for retirement that he could be able to afford to retire without having to rely on selling his business, because he wanted to gift his business to his sons, which would be my dad and his brother, so my uncle. So he did that. And he unfortunately did not update his financial plan after that. So by the time he made the offer to the boys, they moved their families back to Tulsa, and we were in the middle of this transition from my granddad to my dad and uncle. And my granddad was like not wanting to retire, loved going into the office, seeing the clients. You know, it's like the business is his baby, the clients are his friends kind of situation.
Yes.
And so I helped with the transition there, but we also did, the back office did a financial plan for my granddad to say, hey, you have enough to retire. It's going to be okay. So the power of financial planning is strong for advisors. I mean, I've seen it with my family, and that's why I'm passionate about it.
Yes. So what are some of the things you could share with us that you've learned from working with financial planners?
Mm-hmm. Financial planners are so much fun to work with because there's yes, we have this need, right? Like the need to have our own finances in order, like we tell our clients to do. So there's an added layer of complexity, I would say, because there's all the surface level things, but then there's this next layer down, because we have this expectation that if I'm giving advice to people, all of my stuff has got to be ship shape, right? Like I've got this under wraps. And that's just not true. We are people. We all make mistakes. We all put stuff on the back burner. And especially when you have a client that you want to do good work for, you always service your clients better than yourself. It's like The shoemaker's children have no shoes kind of a situation. So I would say there's an added layer of maybe like guilt and even shame sometimes about being able to open up and say, hey, I need help with my own financial plan. And then there's another layer of like, am I willing to pay for this when I can do it myself? So that's sometimes a pain point for advisors. But I found that those who offer financial planning in their own firms recognize the value of financial planning, and they're more likely to be okay asking for help and paying for it and being comfortable sitting on the other side of the table and feeling those feelings that clients experience when they're working with advisors.
Right. Well, that makes sense. And I know that you just came back from France, so that was an awesome experience. Tell us about that, how you got there, what it means to you and your business.
What an amazing question. So we just got to spend 2 months living and working over in France. I speak French. One of these degrees behind me is a degree in French, and I have not been back since I studied abroad. Yeah. So
nice.
It has been, like a 10-year goal to go back to France. My husband had never been to Europe at all, so he wanted to experience it. So it's been like 5 years of getting our careers to the point where we can work remotely, working with our own financial planner to say, hey, like, can we afford to do this? Like, how is this going to work? Getting my business off the ground was a part of that. So he was a huge, just like stabilizing presence as we were trying to make this huge life change and helping my husband and I see eye to eye on it and what this means for our life. Like, we don't know if we're going to be moving to France in the future, running a firm overseas. Like, all these questions are things we're going to have to tackle, but it was a huge accomplishment just to get to go back. And my advisor played a huge part in that as well.
Excellent. How amazing is that? You've achieved your 10-year goal of going back to France and being able to work there for several months. So advisors reach out to you for what reasons? They know that you help them with exit coaching, their own financial planning. What are their pain points usually when they come to you?
Oh, yeah. So for the financial planning, I would say most advisors want to get their spouse engaged in the money conversation. So advisors are typically the ones to spearhead all the financial decisions. They have all the information. They can get it done, quickly and easily, just like get some term insurance or whatever they need to get done. Like, they know you, they know how to contact you, and just like, Peachie, help me do this. And they don't always talk to their spouse about what they're doing and why. So then a few years later, they'll realize, like, I have the weight of all of these financial decisions and all of this stuff that has to get done related to our finances on my shoulders. And my spouse has no idea. If something happened to me, like, it's usually a she, like a wife or something, would be totally blind. So advisors will reach out to me and say, hey, we want to start this holistic, comprehensive financial planning process, and I want it to come from you, because my spouse will have a relationship with you and she'll know to call you if something happens to me. So that's kind of the financial planning trigger. For the exit coaching, it's a little bit different. If an advisor knows what they want in their succession plan, they can just call someone like FP Transitions, pay them $30,000, and they will do everything. They will do the legal documents, they'll do the deal terms, talk about the tax implications, and you'll be done in like 3 months. But for all of those other advisors out there, the independent fee-only advisors, the ones who want to do a DIY succession plan, they don't want to pay $30,000. They will call me, and it'll be people who maybe have a small book of just like 20 or 30 clients, and they found someone who wants to buy them out, but they just want someone to like have a second pair of eyes on their documents. Maybe they need a referral for an attorney or an insurance person. I'll be like, hey, this is who I recommend. Here are some questions that you're going to want to ask after, talking to them through a number of things. So that is typically like some kind of a middle ground between like having no resources and then completely outsourcing it. I am the middle of the road option.
Yeah, it makes sense. And people, advisors, like you said, are also people. And really, at the end of the day, if you're open to getting help, then you will get help. So instead of paying $30,000, that's a hefty amount of money, especially if you're a single financial planning firm. That's a big number. So you must have a favorite success story. I'd love to hear your favorite success story.
Ooh, I love this question. Okay, so my favorite client was with me even before I launched my firm. I was kind of a paraplanner for her. Mm-hmm. And I came into her firm. She was not offering financial planning to clients. So I sat down with her, picked her brain, wrote a workflow on like, here's how we provide financial planning as a service. Okay, and then after a few years of doing that, I've launched my firm, right? She was like, we need to elevate yourself like you elevate your clients. Elevate, haha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, got it.
And so she said, why don't we hire your replacement? Which we did this year. So we put together a workflow on how to hire and train paraplanners. And we found someone who is now doing the paraplanning for her. And what I am doing now for her has shifted. So I do kind of like packages. People can come to me and like they need help with an emergency exit plan or evaluation or something. That's kind of where we start. But if a client works with me and goes through those packages and still needs help with something, we do like an ongoing retainer model where I provide, a certain number of calls per month or a certain number of hours of implementing whatever comes out of those calls. And it's based on the model. I don't know if you're familiar with EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. Yeah. So the advisor or firm owner is the visionary, and I am the integrator. So I take the vision out of their head and integrate it in their business. So I might train their team. I might write some workflows or put together a job description if they're looking for someone, whatever it is that comes out of that. And for my client, it's building a talent development program. So we're starting with an intern position that will constantly have an intern for her. So we'll always have someone, but it's a high turnover. And then some of those people may be offered a position as a resident, which is a 3-year term in which they get their CFP, start working in more client-facing positions. And then after that, they may either be able to move into a financial advisor position and possibly lead their own diamond team at that point, or they may move into an incubator where we help them start their own advisory firm under the umbrella of what she can offer and coach them in and provide as kind of support getting everything off the ground. So that is supposed to provide the level of internal growth that would allow her to acquire more firms, because she acquired her firm. That's forgot a little bit of the backstory. She had acquired her firm and had not even met with all of her clients after she had acquired it 7 years ago. Yeah. And after 7 years of, going through this acquisition, she still hadn't met everyone. So I was like, okay, let's get you financial planning. Let's get you in front of your clients. Like, we need to clean things up here. And now we're building this, the scaling model where she can grow and do more acquisitions in the future, which is well within my wheelhouse of doing. I mean, we think about exit planning as like trying to leave, but she's helping other advisors retire, which is like, I love being a part of that.
Yes. I was thinking as you're talking about that entire process, so it really sounds like, a financial planner essentially go into this financial planning arena, so to speak, because they may be good at it. They love it, right? They may like the personal relationship part, or they may be super awesome when it comes to the technical side of it, which is the whole, a lot of planning, really thinking things through, learning different things in the financial arena. But they may not necessarily be operations people or business people for that matter. And part of what you explained sounds to me that that's that part of it. It's helping them see that side as well, because you're coming into your own business and you may not have the expertise nor the energy or time to dedicate to that piece, where you're bringing in interns, you have a proper training program for them, a proper plan, the number of years that they do that, or an incubator part of your firm and what they go through and so on and so forth. So that, to me, that's really a lot of value right there. Brooklyn, what would you say is your most challenging or the most challenging maybe aspect of doing this for financial planners?
Mm. I think they're the same things that I pointed out that advisors struggle with are the same things that I struggle with. So what I said about having like guilt or shame about not having your own stuff all sorted, I experienced that this fall, but it was on the organizational side of my business, all the processes and whatnot. Because look at what I just described I'm delivering for my clients. I do not have such a magical, like awesome system in my business because I cannot do this for myself. So I've connected with a guy who does business coaching, and he's going to help mentor me. And I think I needed that because I'm in the business of helping advisors practice what they preach, and I didn't feel like I was doing it. So I think that's been something I have struggled with a little bit. Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I love it. Thank you for being so open about that. I know it's as an advisor, an insurance advisor, it is very true that sometimes you're so into the weeds, down into the weeds and working, seeing clients, doing technical work. And it's hard to separate yourself, like back up 100 feet and look at the big picture, as it happens. So sometimes you do need that outside person looking in who's not as involved and can give you a fresh perspective. And I think that your service to other financial advisors is very valuable for that very reason. So, what would be your difference making tip to anyone who's listening to us right now, Brooklyn?
Yes. Well, I think you kind of kicked it off for me.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was good. It's a great segue. Okay. So I think something I tell advisors all the time is to think about yourself as a steward. We are stewards of our finances, right? And especially I've seen with older clients that I work with, or I have worked with in the past, and they have millions of dollars and they're in their 80s. They're not going to spend it all. So we need to start bringing in the next generations into the conversations because this money isn't for them, it's for the future. And so how you transition it to them, what this money means to the next generation, that all becomes part of the conversation. And I think that's the framework that advisors need to be taking about their own money and their own net worth, I would even say, because your business is on your net worth balance sheet.
Yes.
It makes a part of that. So when you're thinking about transitioning it, is it selling it and passing on the money? And if so, how does that play into your story? What does your family think and feel about that? What does that say about your values? All of those things. But even not just about your money, about your business, running your business. A lot of advisors will I attended a session at the XYPN conference about a lifestyle practice. A lot of advisors pursue a lifestyle practice, keep it small, do it for your lifestyle. And the thought is, well, you don't have to build something that's easy to transition to the next generation. But when you get to that point, it is about the lifestyle of the person who is taking over your firm. And for bigger firms, it's an entire culture of, making it easy to transition, building out processes and procedures. But even for smaller firms, like what you are doing affects your clients, affects your family, affects, the advisor that is going to be buying you out someday. So what does that say about you and what you value, and how is that going to affect all these other people? I think that's the kind of mindset that I'm trying to help advisors that I work with carry over into their life and business.
I love it, and very well said. I have my own analogy similar to what you just said. It's mostly what I say something like this. You are doing this for your future self. Or something like in our culture here in my firm, we have processes. We have a lot of processes and procedures and stuff. And there's points that I say, you're going to thank your old self for doing this today. So your future self is going to thank yourself right now by doing this today. So anyway, I thought that just kind of reminded me of what you just said.
I love it.
Brooklyn, If we have listeners or viewers who's watching us right now, who would love to ask you questions about you, your firm, how you can help them, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, there's a call link on my website where people can schedule a free consultation. I think it's just 30 minutes, and we can kind of brainstorm about what you're looking for. And maybe it's not me. Maybe I would refer you to work with a different advisor or refer you to work with FP Transitions or something else, but I'll tell you if that's the case. And we also are on every social media platform. Connect with us, follow us, interact with us. You can learn stuff. And if I go to France, it's always fun to, to keep up with me. But I forgot to mention, my team gave me a code because we have products available on our website that help advisors with their exit planning as well. So if you use the code Peachie20, so we're playing with your business name there, Peachie20, and that's 20% off any of the products on our website through the end of the year.
Oh, that's super awesome. So don't forget that. Brooklyn, this is amazing. I love it. Always love seeing your beautiful face and chatting with you. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it.
I've enjoyed it. I'll come back anytime. Just call me.
All right, Brooklyn. Thank you. Bye-bye. Information shared during the show are opinions of the speakers. They are not legal, financial, or tax advice specific to you. Consult your own specialist, attorney, accountant, financial planner, or insurance advisor for your specific situation.